UUCF acknowledges this land is situated in the original ancestral homelands of the Hachiman, Kich, and Tongva peoples. May we have the humility and courage to help restore what has been broken and the wisdom to live into a new solidarity with Indigenous peoples. Before we begin our service today, I'd like to call your attention to a few brief announcements. First off, I'm Megan Smock, and along with Bruce Reebach, we are your worship associates today. Reverend Rob is away on vacation in Mexico. If you need to speak to someone, our lay pastoral care team is available to you, and their name and phone numbers are available in the weekly announcements. Next Saturday, UUCF hosts the Fullerton Day of Music. Gary Daniels could use your help in staffing the building for an hour or two. Please contact Gary to volunteer if you're available. Our monthly teen hangout will coincide with the Day of Music events this Saturday. Speak to Megan Watson to learn more. Don't forget to RSVP to attend the June 21st Family Circle Supper hosted by the Garden family. Better yet, sign up to host one of our monthly gatherings. The UUA is providing online OWL training in August. Registration opens tomorrow. OWL stands for Our Whole Life. If you're interested in being part of this, please speak to Megan Watson or Carter Rakowski. Next weekend's online newsletter will be a double issue. So if you have anything that needs promoting for the next couple of weeks, get it to Amy by Thursday. And the reason for that is Amy will actually be on vacation. She is working at one of the FCC, one of the Disciples of Christ church camps for a week. So we will not have our trusty Amy. So please, if you have anything that needs to be announced before July 6th, make sure Amy has it. Today, we're celebrating Father's Day. Through reflection, readings, and stories, we're going to explore the broad spectrum of experiences and the many complex feelings surrounding the concept of fatherhood.
We'll be sharing joys and sorrows a bit later now in the service. So if you're in the sanctuary and would like to share, the slip or letter located on the back table, and you can fill them out up to the end of time for all ages. If you're joining us online, I invite you to put your joy or sorrow in the comment section. Those of you in the sanctuary are now welcome to greet one another.
everybody. It's so great to see all of you. Happy Father's Day. My name is Christine Araoka, and I'm your MD. And it's a pleasure always to be here. For our opening hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 1010, We Give Thanks. Please rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing.
For sleepless nights awaiting the curfew breakers, for anxious hours as a driving instructor, for hours spent on the sidelines and cheering, for watching school plays, sometimes rusting out eyes, for the pressure of breadwinning, and wait till you're brought home. For teaching moments and mentoring moments, for making up answers when you don't know them, but are expected to know them. You know everything. For scrapes and boo-boos, kisses and band-aids, for hugs and kisses and silliness of plot, for bedtime stories and early morning ice wine, for all aftershave and ties, received a gift, for handling of car keys and waving goodbye, for father-daughter wedding dances, for cradling grandchildren for the first time, for all the moments and all the meaning in the role of a lifetime. We light out solace for fathers and fatherhood. Please join us in our unison affirmation. Principally from the light of the work of me and the fire commitment. Love is the doctor the Christ, the truth, the reality, and children were to dwell together in peace, to see all the freedom, the humanity, the
It is our custom to provide donations of non-perishable food and personal care items for Pathways of Hope, a local food bank. Please be sure to check the dates, as we cannot donate anything with an expired date. As the children come forward, they're asked to collect the donations placed at the end of the rows. And now the children are invited to come forward for Time for All Ages.
From you I sing to you.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Father's Day. Today, the teens are going to be creating some poetry, so I found a poem that goes with Father's Day. And this poem is called Only a Dad by Edgar Albert Guest. And it was written way back in the day in 1916. But I think you will agree that this describes our dads today as well as dads over 100 years ago. So this is, this is Only a Dad. Only a dad with a tired face, coming home from the daily race, bringing little of gold or fame to show how well he has played the game, but glad in his heart that his own rejoice to see him coming and to hear his voice. Only a dad with a brood of 4, one of 10 million men or more, plodding along in the daily strife, bearing the whips and the scorns of life, with never a whimper of pain or hate for the sake of those who at home wait. Only a dad, neither rich nor poor, merely one of the surging crowd, toiling, striving from day to day, facing whatever may come his way, silent whenever the harsh condemn, and bearing it all for the love of them. Only a dad, but he gives his all to smooth the way for his children small, doing with courage stern and grim the deeds that his father did for him. This is the line that for him I pen, only a dad, but the best of men. All right, let's go to our classes.
Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to greet a bright new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way. Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to greet a bright new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way.
What? Those joining us online are invited to share in all caps a joy or sorrow in the comment section. We begin by lighting a candle for all our concerns with the larger world, our wish for peace and justice, our hope for the children who will inherit this planet. May the candle represent all these wishes and call to action more than we can articulate in this space, and let it nurture the personal joys and sorrows in our life. The fruit will come from every box of joy. It is currently estimated that 12.1 million people came to the No Kings protest across the country. The name wanted driver, Aaron. Oh, a very happy Father's Day to all your wonderful dads. And then another drawing from Aaron. My daughter got their passports, so we're ready to see the world. A concern from Jerry Lochenbacher, concern for the immigrant community and the uncertainty and fear they are facing. Please join the Social Action Committee meeting after the service and discuss ways of our congregation can provide support. We now light one more candle, all those joys, concerns, and towers that remain unexpressed, but are still love through our hearts. And please now join in saying the affirmation on the screen. We join you to celebrate our joy. May you bring for all that is spoken and for make the caring abundance to thank us all.
As Mark can attest to, I am a dedicated George Strait fan, and that happens to be my favorite of his songs. Thank you, Christine. There is a correction. The family circle supper on the 21st will be starting at 4 p.m., not 6 p.m. as it said on the slide. Now let us move into the spirit of meditation, reflection, and prayer. You may close your eyes, take a deep breath, whatever helps you find your center. On this Father's Day, we recognize the vast spectrum of experience and the often complicated feelings that surround such a celebration. We honor those fathers and father figures in our lives who have loved, supported, encouraged, and instructed us, and we seek to share these gifts with others. We mourn with those who mourn the loss of a father, and fathers who mourn the loss of a child. Whether separated by death or estrangement, we support those for whom this day brings pain and sorrow, who suffered abandonment, neglect, or abuse. We support and celebrate the fathers in our midst who give of themselves to their children recognizing all the strength and wisdom and stamina and love and time and honest introspection that fatherhood requires. We support those who chose not to have children, yet who are present in loving and supportive ways to children, youth, and adults alike. And we seek to honor wherever we find ourselves today across the vast spectrum of experience, and to feel the compassion that embraces us within the silence.
Father's Day is an important time to check in with the complex feelings this day may invoke. The idea of the wise, patient, loving, all-knowing provider has never been more than a useful television trope. At its best, this ideal gives people a positive role in child rearing to inspire to, but at its worst, it casts patriarchy in a benevolent light as a natural order of things. And it also creates an impossible standard for new fathers to live up to that denies the messy, frustrating realities and constant feelings that are part and parcel of parenthood. Sometimes it feels like Father's Day is more about enriching a myth than it is about facing the realities of fatherhood that is fatherhood that so often falls short. For some of us, the story of fatherhood is about love, acceptance, and guidance. But for others, it's a story of rejection, abuse, shame, or abandonment. For some, it is the story of nurturance, but for others, it is marked by frustration and resentment. A story of burdens and unrealized dreams. For some, fatherhood is the longing for children unborn or the loss to death or estrangement. Many of us have no father story to tell at all. Whatever your story and your feelings about having or not having, being or not being a father, we honor your unique experience this day. and I invite you to let your experience be what it is without measuring it against false ideals. Whether your Father's days come may be anything but a celebration, while your Father's Day may be anything but a celebration, the force of this idea of Father affects us all in one way or another. Let us take a moment to go inward and experience the thoughts and feelings we have around the concept of Father. What if your feeling is love? Then I invite you to bask in the warmth and let it fill you. If you're feeling pain or rage, then hold it gently and listen to it as it wails its lament. If what you feel is sorrow, let yourself be slowly rocked by its waves. And if what you experience is the longing of a child abandoned, then cradle that inner child and offer it the unconditional acceptance of love it yearns for.
These Are Our Dads by Amy Petrie Shallow. We recognize and honor today every dad who stood as their child shouted at them in anger or frustration. Every dad who tried to understand their child's clothing choices, new hairdo, or new tattoo. Every dad who suddenly realized their child might be right and was willing to listen. And every dad who honestly believed they were making the best choices that they could. We honor every dad who screwed up, got it wrong, tried again, got it right, and often went from being the dumbest soul alive to the pinnacle of brilliance and back again in one day, according to his children. These are our dads. We honor and recognize today all those who taught us what they knew and forgave us when we got it wrong. Those who wanted to teach us but left too soon, or simply did not know how to teach at all. Those who walked us to the bathroom in the dark, and those who turned on the lights and waited up for us to come back on our own. Those who let us break their binoculars and steal their shirts, and those who taught us why it was wrong to break and steal. These are our dads. We recognize and honor today all of the men who taught us what it meant to be honest, even when it was embarrassing, to tell the truth and admit to our faults, to be human. We recognize, too, those fathers who could not teach us these things because they did not know themselves, but who hoped and prayed that we would do better than they ever did. These are our dads. Today we recognize and honor all of the men who have been there or tried to be there no matter what. Those who have remained calm in crisis and those who could not remain calm but did not run away. Those who did run away but came back again, and those who never came back but always wished it could have been different. They are our dads, rich and poor, tall or short, slender as a pole or round as a basketball. They are the men who helped to raise us and those who formed us through their actions and their lack of actions. These are our dads, birth fathers, adoptive fathers, stepfathers, foster fathers, fathers who have no children themselves but who step in to help to raise the child of a neighbor or friend. Grandfathers and uncles, single moms who've had to learn to go beyond motherhood, trans dads who have given birth, trans dads who didn't, queer dads and gay dads and female partners willing to take on the role. They are our dads. They love, through love and hatred, joy and tears, addiction, mental health issues, perfect health, sickness, aging, wealth and poverty, absence and presence, they are our dads. They are because of us. We are because of them. They are our dads. Thank you.
John Haynes Holmes was born into a Unitarian family soon after the Civil War. He grew up just outside of Boston, and his father would take him to Unitarian churches in Boston every Sunday so that he would hear the best preaching the city had to offer. Holmes idolized his grandfather, John Haynes, who had served as treasurer of the great Theodore Parker's congregation in Boston. Parker was famous as an abolitionist before the Civil War and preached tirelessly against slavery. He also got directly involved in the struggle against slavery by sheltering a runaway slave in his own home. Parker sometimes wrote his sermons with a pistol on his desk in case someone came around to drag the man he was protecting back into slavery. Parker died before John Haynes Holmes was born, but Holmes learned all about Parker from his grandfather. Parker was one of Abraham Lincoln's favorite preachers, and his famous words in the Gettysburg Address, "Government of the people, by the people, and for the people," probably came from something Theodore Parker had once said. John Haynes decided that his grandson was very smart and helped send him to Harvard to college. To save money, Holmes worked really hard so he could finish in 3 years instead of 4, and then went directly to divinity school. He started preaching in Dorchester, just south of Boston, but was soon called to one of the big Unitarian churches in New York, the Church of the Messiah. His favorite going-away present was from his grandfather, the Bible Theodore Parker had used when he preached in Boston. He felt as though his grandfather was passing on a great legacy and a great responsibility to him from Theodore Parker himself. Holmes sometimes took very strong stands in his sermons and his work in the community that some of the members of his church disagreed with, but they always supported his right to say what he really believed was true. The most difficult disagreement was over whether the United States should enter World War I. Holmes was a pacifist. He was convinced that war is always wrong. When he made this announcement just when the United States was joining the war, he expected that the leaders of the church might want him to resign as their minister. Even though only one of them agreed with his position about the war, all of the leaders voted to give him their complete support as their minister. Even though they disagreed with him, they believed in the tradition of the free pulpit, the idea that ministers should be allowed to say what they believe is true, even if members of their church don't agree. Holmes took his beliefs to a meeting of representatives of all the Unitarians in the United States later that year and argued in favor of pacifism, even against a former president of the United States, William Howard Taft. His viewpoint was defeated by a vote of 236 to 9. As part of his support for pacifism, Holmes learned about Mahatma Gandhi, nonviolent struggle for the independence of India. Holmes introduced Gandhi in this country with a sermon called "Who is the Greatest Man in the World?", in which he said that Gandhi's ideas about how to bring about change without violence were some of the most important ideas for us to learn. All his life, John Haynes Holmes struggled to help the underdog and to fight for peace. The stories about Theodore Parker and that his grandfather told him were a constant inspiration in his own fights for justice. Today, the Unitarian Universalist Association gives an award in his name each year to the person who has best followed his example in committing their life to social justice.
Big Shoes to Fill by Rayla D. Matson, as improvised by me because I love to run barefoot in the wet sand and surf. Have our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed? It baffles me how kids in Georgia are just fine running around with no shoes. Rocks, dirt, sticks, and grime all adhere to their feet. Matson, the author, wears shoes from the time he wakes up until the time he goes to bed. Here I switch from being me to Matson. It drives me up the wall to see my kids barefoot but I keep my mouth shut. I read articles about how it's not good to walk around in the house with your shoes that you wear outside, how it's healthy to be without the constraints of shoes on little feet. I also read about the diseases that find their way into the body and bloodstream through cuts and sores on your feet. I realize that both can be right or wrong. I refuse to walk around barefoot, but I refuse to dictate whether my children do. My dad wore shoes. He grew up in rural Georgia, where shoes were a sign of wealth. The population of the town, 500, most farmers couldn't afford to buy shoes for all their children. My grandfather did well as a farmer. He even had several sharecroppers. If he had enough money for all of his 7, 8, 9, or whatever number of children he claimed at any one time, then he spent money on shoes for them, and they better be wearing them. Don't let him catch you without your shoes on. That stuck with my father. If he could afford to buy shoes, then we'd best have them on. So I never took mine off, not because they're some type of status symbol, but because I'm used to it. In an odd way, it makes me feel closer to my dad. I look at my kids' bare feet and my shoes, and I remember that it's okay to let go. Just because something was certain for many years doesn't mean we have to continue. Traditions and habits can be changed or broken, and that's not always bad. It just means that we've moved on to something else. I appreciate the path that my grandfather paved, but I recognize that I can start or add to his path in my own way and honor the road that he paved. Spirit of life, may we never forget the road our ancestors paved for us. May we honor and uplift them. May we also remember that we too, one day, will be ancestors to those generations that follow. Let us be proud and honored by the road we have paved for them, whether or not they choose to follow it.
At New Year's Eve, we embrace the possibility of a world filled with peace, acceptance, justice, love, and joy. By our financial commitment, we help this congregation through its maintenance, mission, and ministries, make the possibility real in a challenging world. A package is brought around December, sanctuary, and there are payment options on screen. Whatever you're able to give is received with gratitude. We thank you for your commitment and generosity.
For our closing hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 1051, We Are. Please rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing.
Star rises and sings to the universe.
For each child is
born, the morning star rises and sings to the universe.
we are. For each
Child that's born, the morning star rises and sings to the
Today, our caring listener is, I'm actually not sure. But I know we have several people in our congregation who are always willing to be caring listeners, including myself. So if you would like to talk to someone after the service, if you have any concerns, or would simply just like someone to talk to, and you can trust that whatever you share is always confidential. Before we close, I'd like to say some thank yous to Mark and Ramon and Thomas and Dale for providing the reading today. And a special big thank you to Bruce Reback. This is his first time as worship associate. Thank you, Bruce.
Closing words. Taking the Light with Us by Heather Christensen. Each week that we gather, we light a common solace. We sing and celebrate. We share and sing. Then we each gather strength from the flame and go out for bigger, taking the light with us.
We now extinguish our chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts wherever we may go. Amen, shalom, salam, namaste, and blessed be. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the Spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace, go now in peace, go now in peace. May the Spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Please stay for our social hour.